84% of developers are using or planning to use AI tools in their process. Everyone's talking about AI coding assistants like Codex, Copilot, or CodeWhisperer, and how they're changing how we write software. Even we wrote about it. But here's the mother of all questions. How is that code secured? Today, we're diving into vibe coding and what happens when AI writes faster than we can review. My name is Kat, and this is SysD YouTube, where we help you stay secure the right way. So let's unpack what vibe coding actually is, why it's risky, and how we can keep the good vibes going without losing control. All right, first things first, what is vibe coding? Well, in simple terms, you describe what you want in natural language, and the AI tool generates the code for you. The term was popularized recently, and it captures the feel of, I'm going with the vibes, letting the AI work it out. But technically, it's about accelerating development with AI, not removing humans from the equation. Speed is amazing. Vibe coding lets you spin up apps in hours rather than weeks, and that's great. But the rub is that security often gets left behind. As we accelerate code generation, our guardrails like reviews, security literacy, and processes must also accelerate. Otherwise, we risk ending up with a massive backlog of code to review that just keeps piling up. And even after the code is written and reviewed, we can't just walk away. Deploying AI-generated code does not mean safe by design. There's still a lot of monitoring, governance, and risk management to do. So what specifically can go wrong when code comes from AI? Well, the AI may not embed proper input validation or authentication logic because it's focused on getting it to run rather than getting it secure. Also, spoiler alert, not everything on the internet is correct. AI-created code might contain patterns filled from training data that are outdated or insecure, meaning the AI may be reproducing the bad parts of what it learned. Finally, less developer oversight means less understanding of how the pieces fit together, i.e. you may lack human review of security context, edge cases, governance. In fact, research shows that a large portion of AI-generated code can fail standard security tests. That amplifies the concern. So yeah, fun to code at AI speed, but if you skip the who secured it question, you're building on shaky ground. The good news is, you don't have to choose between speed and security. You can have it all, but you'll need new guardrails. Here are some of the big ones. Security literacy for all vibe coders. Even if you're not a full-time dev, if you're generating code via AI, you need basic understanding of authentication, input validation, and the OWASP top 10. If you're interested in learning more about those, I will link to some resources down below. Review and approval processes that include AI-generated code. You need someone or some process checking the AI output just like you would any other code. Post-deploy monitoring and governance. As always, security doesn't stop after commit. You need runtime visibility, scans, alerts, all that good stuff. Define what you will vibe code versus what you won't. Maybe certain critical modules like authorization, payment, or user data are off limits for AI generation unless you include extra checks. Use tooling that supports AI code security. Static analysis, dependency scanning, runtime guardrails need to be integrated into your AI-driven workflow. If you bake these in early, you're much less likely to find yourself cleaning up a massive mess later. Also, let's talk culture for a second, because tools and processes are only part of the story. If vibe coding becomes just write it, push it, hope for the best, then you're in trouble. Instead, make sure everyone knows AI-generated code is just code. It still needs to be scrutinized. Encourage the mindset of who secured this, meaning when someone uses AI, ask what review happened, what validation, before pushing to prod. Ensure visibility. AI-generated modules need traceability. Who prompted it? Who reviewed it? Who's responsible for deploying it? And finally, reinforce accountability. Even if an untrained developer used an AI tool, someone in the org has to own the security outcome. These guidelines will let you get in on the vibe coding excitement, but without the risk of moving fast and breaking things the wrong way. Okay, you want to use AI to code. Great. Let's make sure you do it well. Here are some practical steps. 1, start small. Use vibe coding for low-risk parts like utilities or prototype features, not mission-critical components. Establish prompt libraries and templates that include secure by design language. For example, generate code with OWASP input validation, no hard-coded credentials, stuff like that. Integrate checks. Before deployment, run static analysis, dependency scans, and maybe manual security review by a seasoned developer. Tag AI-generated code. Document it so you can track what came from AI. That helps maintainability and future review. And finally, monitor post-deploy. Use runtime tools to watch for anomalies or unusual behavior because generation doesn't guarantee runtime integrity. Keep the speed, but don't skip the safety belt. So there you have it. Vibe coding is a major asset. It gives us speed and creativity, and it democratizes innovation. But with all power comes responsibility.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
So ask yourself, when my AI writes the code, who secures it? Because speed without security is not a way. If you like this, get in those comments. This time, we'd love to know. What part of your stack would you let AI generate? And what part would you never let it touch without review? Or even with review? Thanks for watching, and as always, stay secure out there.